Medic!
You have no idea how bad I've wanted to make one of these.
Pilot on board. Welcome back.
You want to play? Let's play. Yes! Get you on deck, Doc!
This is most disturbing. Let's look at the
Team kill.
I am Blood Hunter.
After this, we should hang out.
So we're really only going to be touching on a couple of games in this one, because mentally, it's all I can handle. And financially, I refuse to buy the new Call of Duty. So I've made a tier list for this, and it goes through the competitive shooters that I feel are the most poignant in our time, besides two, but they're outliers, and we'll get there. The list of games that I've gathered, you cannot argue with me on them. They are the best shooters of all time, or the absolute worst shooters of all time. So if you're sitting there going, where's X Defiant? Where's Spectre Divide? That one game that Shroud made for some reason. They're dead. They're dead in the water. And just like the finals, no one cares about that game anymore. So let's kick this list off with a classic, CS2. CS2 is what you get when you have a team that really cares about the gunplay of a game, and it doesn't have the influence of the terrorist organization that is Riot Games, developing new characters that just power creep the entire game to the point where none of it's interesting anymore. But this is about CS2. It's actually really impressive how relevant this game stays, mostly thanks to its community and Onipixel and gambling that children get to do, which is a whole moral dilemma. But I don't have as much CS2 experience as other games like CSGO, which is where most of my Counter-Strike experience comes from. But the raw gameplay instantly feels refreshing compared to every other game in this genre. Valorant. I'm gonna harp on Valorant a lot in this video, and I hope you're ready. You still get the rush from clutching a 1v5, or even just the round in general, getting a quick defuse right at the end of that timer. But instead of the 13-year-old with the corpse husband voice calling me ass, it's some random Polish guy saying slurs. And for some reason, that feels so much better. Now, while I may have gripes with some of the gambling and some of the business practices of Valve in general, CS2, on a game on its own merit, is fantastic. I could really see myself playing this game for a long time and enjoying myself, and not getting into that deep recess of the competitive spiral where my mental health just makes me re-queue over and over again. It feels like there is better communication, there is better gameplay that just keeps you coming back and doesn't make you mentally spiral. So minus all of the gripes that I have with it, I would still sit CS2 in an A tier. It might be low A comparatively, but still an A tier. I don't see this game's competitive mode destroying my mental health as hard as some of the other ones will on this list. Now, to continue on with our list of classics, I wanted to go pretty far back into this list to make it pretty fair. So we're going to talk about Team Fortress 2. I originally got to experience this game on the orange box of all places, back on the PS3. Now, while there's some other games on there that we will eventually get to in another video, Team Fortress 2 didn't captivate me immediately. It wasn't until years later, when I would get a Steam account and a PC setup, that I would finally be able to actually really experience this game. And back in its heyday, man, this game was pretty good. Nowadays, It is probably the most racist community I've ever experienced, though. So the chat will be blurred in the rest of these clips, just for our protection and demonetization. And even though the menus are rough, the server connections are rough, and having to pay to get into ranked is a little crazy, and there's also gambling, and probably the most cheaters and hackers and bots in any game I've played competitively, it still holds up really well, even though half the time you can't even read what's happening on the screen because the HUD is very old. It is derelict. The no hit markers doesn't help, and having barely any idea what some of the weapons do that the people are using against you, I could totally see myself getting into the class weapon customization and ending up really enjoying this game. Because when it works, I'm having fun with TF2. I think that's the magic of this game. It deserves a lot of credit for starting pretty much every trend in this style of game and paving the way for these team shooters to even exist in the first place. So playing this game, even though it might have some pretty terrible community, it is still fun to sit through and play a couple rounds of, even though it is a relic of a pastime, and I really wish Valve would just fix this game or make a Team Fortress 3. But we all know that 3 is not their forte. So I'm gonna have to sit this in a B tier. Not completely destroying my mental health, but not helping it necessarily. Onto a game that seriously does not help my mental health. Apex Legends. Apex Legends is how I know I am starting to spiral into a deep, deep depression. This is the game I have spent the most time on, the most hours in, and the most competitive I have probably been in a ranked game since I was 15 years old. But it's so hard to put it down. It's like the adrenaline of getting that top 5 with like the tiny zones still left. Feels like smoking crack. Your heart's racing, your hands are sweating. And then you get third partied the second you start or win your fight. And it's probably the most deflating feeling ever. 20 minutes of looting and running around just to get obliterated by 2 teams makes me want to do what my ancestors and my dad were best at, putting holes in drywall. And when you get into a ranked match and you see that you're matched with a console player, it is probably the most defeating thing. You just insta drop hot and accept whatever happens to you and your team. It's like my adopted child that I'll never love it as much as like the biological one that I have, which is Titanfall 2. But I can pretend that it's good enough, but it never really will be now, is it? The monetization in this game is also pretty brutal. I have been free to play for the entirety of playing this game for the almost 1,000 hours I have in it, which is just devastating. But I have pretty cool cosmetics, and the battle pass that is in here normally gives you some decent stuff. It is insane how many Apex packs I have opened, and I still have no heirlooms, not even any shards at all. The player base is also racist, which is like what a weird running theme throughout all of these games. So I will be blurring the chat for this one as well. We really can't catch a break here. And like I said, I know this game is bad for my mental health, and I know I'm slipping when I willingly start an update for this game. Once I download that 35 gig update for the new season, I know I'm on a slow decline in my mental health that's going to dump a bunch of hours into ranked on this game. It really is the Toxic X game. It's fun for like a day, for the night, and then you regret it when you let it back into your life because it just doesn't really leave you alone, and it kind of just keeps you stuck in this pattern. So even with all that being said, I still have a lot of fun with this game, but I could not recommend it to anyone else, so I have to stick it in C tier. So I haven't seriously played a Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 3, where I got a Moab with the ACR on Arcaden, because I'm just simply the GOAT at that game. But it is the game that I was probably the most competitive in besides Super Smash Bros. Melee growing up. So I'm going off my ranking when COD was peak, the GOAT era of this game, and it's going to be kind of the control group for the rest of these games. So Modern Warfare 2 is where we're going to be ranking off of. Modern Warfare 2 is one of the best competitive shooters I think we've seen in this generation of gaming, and you can still play it to this day and have a great time. The servers are still up. It wasn't just an Xbox 360 summer, it's an all year round kind of mood. Literally in the middle of recording for this, I joined a prestiged lobby, which were like golden tickets back in the day. They were so hard to find. The fact that people are still willing to host these and keep these servers up and running is astounding. Go back and play the older games. Stop playing Warzone and remind them what we actually want. Please, for the love of God. And bring back good zombies while we're at it. I understand I'm nostalgia baiting, but god damn it, zombies hasn't been good since Black Ops 3. And also, while we're at it, Warzone goes into the bottom of F tier. I cannot imagine playing more than 2 games of Warzone a year, and that's with my one military friend. I probably make fun of this game the most because it keeps itself in the eye of the zeitgeist the most as well, trying to stay relevant and trying to keep up with the times and with this new generation of Zoomers. But Fortnite is becoming something else entirely. It's a whole platform now. If you think of Roblox in the same way, where they host games and they mostly wait for you to go into lobbies, Fortnite is the same way. It is hard to rank a competitive shooter when Hank Hill and Naruto are doing the noodle dance from the Gorillaz while someone else is singing Buddy Holly by Weezer. It is a nostalgia baiting, but also meme baiting platform that I cannot imagine getting into those bot lobbies and then having a 9-year-old build a whole Minecraft castle around me and then one tap me. I can't do it. I can't do the building. I can't do anything. And like, yeah, this is a oh, get good moment. I'm aware. I know. But you need to stop talking to your AI big titty anime girlfriend and go touch grass. For the love of God. I'm chopped unk, but I'm worried for you. I'm really worried for this new generation. But as a competitive experience, it is miserable. It is hard to get into. It is hard to pay attention to and want to be in, and also feel like you have done something good with your day when you spend that much money on a battle pass. The top level play hurts me. Those children should be put on Vyvanse and sent into the mines. I could not imagine myself playing competitive Fortnite ever. So that's going into the top of F tier. Well, okay, top of F is a little rough. It is a interesting game, and I like that they're reviving things. So as a game, I can put it into D tier. I'll do that. I'll be fair. But a game I will not be fair about in any way is Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals was so exciting when it hit the scene. I tried it the first few seasons, and it is the most milquetoast shooter I have ever touched. It's the most boring. It has the workings of like the Disney adult version of Overwatch, and I cannot get into it because at the worst parts, you're arguing with a Loki main who refuses to swap, and I know damn well they're only playing that character because they want to fuck Tom Hiddleston and own like all of the Loki Funko Pops. And then at the best parts, you're just like steamrolling a team completely, and there's no emotional investment in this game. It feels like there's a skill cap in either direction where your team is never going to win or you're just going to stomp.
You know, the meta in the high levels right now is developed into not shooting the enemy team. It's about building support ult faster.
It makes me want to riddle my brains with holes in the shape of a hidden Mickey. Like, I can't do it. It's one of the most disappointing competitive shooters I've probably ever played, but mechanically, it is still more balanced than Overwatch 2, and you get to go, oh, look, oh, I know that guy. Oh, that's the guy. And like the moment they put like Deadpool and stuff in this, we're done. Put the nail in the coffin. That's it. Low D tier. And while we're talking about putting the nail in the coffin, Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is a shell of its former self. It had it all in Overwatch 1, and then went, hey, look what I can do, and then just shot itself in the foot and fell into a pit of greed and capitalism and has never crawled out of it. It might have been the acquisition of Blizzard as a whole that turned this game into that, but it is gone now. I used to genuinely enjoy Overwatch 1. I played ranked since Season 3, as you can see right here, and hit high plat in my prime. Tank main mostly, support main when I wanted to queue. That wasn't longer than 17 minutes. But going back now is truly just depressing. I'm refusing. I will never join one of those Mercy Chill and Chat 18 custom games. I'd blow my brains out before I'd ever play ranked again, but you will never find me in one of those rooms, except for maybe in an upcoming video, because I do really want to talk about those corners of the internet, because I think they're so funny. It is probably the second most toxic, flaming, and unemployed experience on this list. It is a true F tier game, and it's our only one in this category, but we still have one game left and one slot to fill. So let's move into probably my least favorite game of all time, Valorant. The hate I have for Valorant versus the amount of hours I've put into it should really be studied. I grinded this game for months at one point, while also being employed, which was one of the worst experiences of my life. I truly believed I could get good. I truly believed it was just my teammates holding me there in the very peak of gold, about to touch plat. I thought if I put in the time, changed my settings, picked the right agent, moved my mouse sensitivity to the exact amount, and then bought a better mouse, and then bought one of those tap strife keyboards, I thought I could improve. I really did. But none of that was the issue. It was just my mental health slipping between my fingers every time I had to type into all chat or listen to a squeaker or e-daters try and talk to me. Valorant has produced some of the worst gaming days of my entire life. It is the most horrific experience being trapped with those players and e-daters and children for 30 to 60 minutes, and it's something I wouldn't wish on anyone. The monetization alone, the skin begging, the give me the skin on that Vandal or I'm throwing the whole game. all of it gives me so much anxiety, even while I was just reinstalling the video just to record these segments. I cannot recommend anyone ever touch this game or anything Riot, the terror organization, has created. League of Legends has luckily never got me into their grips, but Valorant was enough for me to know that it is a punishment in one of the rings of hell after you die. I can't even fathom getting onto that game and grinding as much as I did. And I had some good games. Admittedly, I mean, some of the footage in the background, the chamber games that I had, Op, Crutch, all the way. This game was something that I enjoyed greatly at the time, but didn't realize the mental health impact it was legitimately having on me. There were days that I was just like diving into 7 games, and then I wouldn't want to come out of my room, and I would just insta-queue again. It was detrimental to my work. It was detrimental to my mental health, relationships. This game was one of the most deteriorating moments of my life, and it's hard to think of going back into a competitive shooter as a whole. I don't think I can play them anymore. I'm basically 30. I can't I can't do this. I'm chopped unk. And I think that's okay. And I think putting yourself into these situations and these high intensity moments and not realizing what you're feeling at the time, but then feeling like this deep dread after you finished a gaming session is something that no one should ever feel. And you really shouldn't be putting yourself through that. And if you ever have put yourself through something like this, you can realize that this is a punishment, and it's not something you should be doing. While we're on the topic of mental health, I just wanted to say that I hope you're all doing well. I know it's a really tough time right now, with days getting dark, and how brutal winter can be, but I just wanted to say that no feeling is ever final. There is always a tomorrow, and nothing can take that from you. There will be brighter days ahead. Alright, back to the video. I want to talk about something that makes me happier than any of these games I've played. It's still a shooter. It's still a game that I've enjoyed a lot during my time, and I brought it up earlier in the video. You also saw it in the intro. Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is the best shooter I have ever gotten to experience. It is such a shame what has happened to this development team and how they are not able to branch out and leave Apex. They are stuck there with the greedy claws of EA just dug into them, milking this game until it is dry. Until they don't want this team anymore, we'll probably never get a Titanfall 3. Hilariously, at the Game Awards, there was that shooter that was made by the team of Titanfall that looks like paladins made in Unreal Engine. I will not be playing that, most likely. But Titanfall 2 is a tier of its own. It seriously is a god tier game with gunplay that if you haven't experienced yet, you need to get into that game, and it's probably on sale right now for the Steam Christmas sale for like $5. Let me actually check that. I was so close. It's $4.50. If you have not experienced Titanfall 2, they fixed the servers a few years ago, and it is the most fun experience you're ever going to have in a game. I'm gonna make a separate video about Titanfall 2 as a whole, closer to the Fallout New Vegas video that I made earlier, but if you haven't touched this game ever, just play the campaign. If you're not into competitive shooters, just play the campaign, please. We need to show interest that Titanfall 2 is still alive. They know there's a community there that's waiting for them to come back with the third one, but that shooter from the Game Awards was not it. I'm gonna be real. This game even when you're having a rough time playing, you're still having fun with its mechanics, its gunplay, and everything that this game offers. Please, seriously, I'm saying this for like the 5th time because I'm so real about it. Go play Titanfall 2. But that's it. That's the tier list. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can agree with some of these points, and if you can, please tell me your experiences down below. Don't forget, like, subscribe, do the whole thing. The Fallout New Vegas video reception has been better than I could have ever expected, and I appreciate you all so very much. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching.